Okay, we left off page Ches. Okay. Okay, we're in the third paragraph. Just started again. He says, the path to achieve, to arrive at our destination and our desired result. Who's there, Olam? It's this world. This world is like the corridor before the world to come. And the mediums which assist the person to arrive at that ultimate purpose and destination, the mitzvahs which God Himself commanded us, and the location for the performance of mitzvahs are only in this world.
Like the mitzvahs, the building blocks.
Not the building blocks. First, the two things. There's arrival, and when you arrive, there's another discussion. What do you merit when you arrive? Therefore, a person is placed in this world initially. So these mediums which present themselves to him here, he's able to arrive at the location that's been prepared for him. So I said, if a person, let's say, performs at the most advanced level, there is a location there waiting for him at that level. What happens if you fall short of that? So, what initially was waiting for you, you're not going to be able to utilize. It's huchamo. You know, you have reserved for you 5-star, 4-star, 1-star. Every one of them. Now it depends how you achieve. At what level did you succeed? But whatever you do, it's mokum asher huchamo. The location has been prepared for you. Sholom abo lirvo shambatov asher konalo al yidei emtsoim ho'elech. To be able to bask in the good, or to be sated with the good that you've acquired through these mediums. It's for you to do them today, tomorrow to receive their reward, the just reward. Correct. 100%. Because ultimately He knows at what level you're going to achieve. Yeah, but what happens if okay. He says, if you delve further in the matter, you will see what is the ultimate level of perfection. To achieve perfection, that's only to be able to cleave to Him. That's the ultimate shleim, that you're worthy to cleave. Then you've made the ultimate grade. That shleim is perfection. You know, it's interesting, you know, one second, what?
Does it make a difference if we type shlemus as perfection or completion? To be complete, to be shown?
Completion. Whole, to be whole. No, that's what I want to mention. The Chofetz Chaim very often he cites Rav Chaim Vital in his introduction, in the Chofetz Chaim, and even in the Mishnah Berurah, in his introduction, Chelik Aleph. Rav Chaim Vital writes that just as you have Ramach Eivorim, and you have the mitzvahs aseh, which correspond to the 248 parts of the body, you have Ramach Eivorim in the neshama. The soul also has 248 components, and the mitzvahs aseh correspond to every part of the neshama. So when you do various mitzvahs, it actually it nourishes and empowers that part of the neshama. Okay? That, as we have Ramach in the physical, we have Ramach in the spiritual. So it's interesting. For instance, we Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam. Torah is the ultimate. But yet, what happens if you have a mitzvah that you cannot delegate through a third party, like tefillin, tzitzis, right? You interrupt your Torah study to put on tefillin. Even though, but logically speaking, if Talmud Torah connected kulam, if that's the ultimate, especially as the Vilna Gaon cites, proves it from the Yerushalmi, that one word of Torah is the equivalent to all the mitzvahs combined. So it doesn't make any sense that you should interrupt your Torah study to do a mitzvah, which is a fraction of your level of spiritual accomplishment. But yet you have a chiyuv, you have an obligation. If it's Iev Shalosh Yidei Acherim, it's something which cannot be delegated to the third party. You have an obligation to interrupt your Torah study to what? To do that mitzvah, Kriya Shema, whatever it may be. So what's the logic? David, do you have the question? But if the ultimate objective is Shemos, let's say a person he could develop his mind, but he lets the rest of the body totally to atrophy. A human being is just not a mind. If there are 240 parts to the neshama, so there's one part of the neshama which is the all-encompassing part. That corresponds to Torah. What about the other parts of the neshama, which have to be sustained, invigorated, and have to be advanced? That only could come through those particular mitzvahs. So if it's a mitzvah which cannot be delegated through a third party, that means you must do it. Because again, what is the objective? The objective is shleimus. You can only have shleimus if every part of the neshama is addressed in terms of its development. It's connected kulam in terms of what it generates. It doesn't generate the ultimate level of shleimus in terms of spiritualization. The ultimate spiritualizer is Torah, right? All-encompassing, but in terms of the detail aspects, you still have to do the mitzvah to address the detail, the particular component of the neshama that you have to do the mitzvah. That cannot come about through Torah itself. There's the Gemara says in Menachos that today we have no Beis Hamikdash, but if you study the Parsha of Olah, it's as if you brought the Olah. The Chatos, as if you brought the Chatos, whatever it may be. So they cite Rabbeinu Bachar. Rabbeinu Bachar says, but the same thing is true regarding any mitzvah. Let's say Binya Beis Hamikdash. Let's say you study the laws of the Beis Hamikdash, and you yearn for that moment when you could actually fulfill that mitzvah. You're credited as if you built the Beis Hamikdash. Well, let's say a person wants to do the mitzvah of Kisi Adam, covering the blood of a bird or an undomesticated animal. How often does it present itself? It doesn't present itself. But you yearn that you study the laws and you're fully proficient. Studying those laws, you're credited as if you fulfilled the mitzvah Kisi Adam. Well, it's considered that. You're an onus. And you learn it still, it's better than nothing. Even though they bring a proof. It's ki'ilu, hevi chatos. It's not literally identical. It has a semblance of bringing the chatos. They bring a proof to this from the Gemara in Shabbos. The Gemara says that Rabbi Shmuel, there was an argument, are you permitted to read by candlelight on Shabbos? The Chum say you're not permitted because there's a concern that you may become engrossed in what you're reading and you may manipulate the wick and you'll be in violation of kindling. Rabbi Shmuel says, Ani ekra v'lo ateh, I will read, I'm not concerned. And sure enough, he read and he did. He manipulated the wick. And he was advised. He said he entered in his personal diary, Kishi Yibona Beis HaMikdash, Avi Chata Shmeina. When the Beis Hamikdash will be built, he will bring a fat sin offering. So they asked, but if he's telling me, Kol Lomin Parshas Chatos, Hevi Chatos, if you study it, it's as if you brought the Chatos. What do you have to record? When it will be built, he'll bring the Chata Shmeina. Let him study the Parsha of Chatos. Say the Psukim. That's the question they ask. So they say it's ki'ilu hevi. It has a semblance of that, but it's not the equivalent of that. Bring it, of course, is much more than that. But I'm saying, but today that we can't do better than that. You're better off with a semblance than nothing at all. So if you want to address various aspects of a neshama, korbanos, whatever it may be, which we don't have, if you study that, at least it'll have some value versus advancing our spirituality in terms of shleimus. See, the whole concept is, we speak about mahu afato. Ernie, this is important. Yeah, it's more important than how did he put the money in the saddlebag. Okay? Mahu avato. Okay? That we have to emulate Hashem. He's Rachum, we have to be Chanun. He's Chanun, he's gracious, we should be. What's all this emulating? What's the value of that? What is Olam Haba? It's having a relationship. What is the basis for a relationship? It's to create a compatibility, a commonality with the one we want to have a relationship with. So if we assume his characteristics to our best ability, he is Sholem in the most absolute sense of what Sholem is, complete. That's what he is. So a person, if he becomes Sholem, he has greater relevance to that relationship. So therefore you have to fulfill all the mitzvahs. And the more perfect you become, so good, we speak whole and perfection within wholeness. Hashem's wholeness, Shemos, is betachlis HaShlemus. It's on the most absolute level. So the closer you get to that, the greater the level of compatibility. So the more you could cleave to that. That's what he speaks about. That's dveikus. But if a person has no relevance to it, could you graft a stone onto a tree? The makeup of a stone has no relevance to what a tree is. You can't graft it onto it. So the greater the commonality, the greater the compatibility. You could cleave to a greater degree, but if you have no relevance to him, there's no cleaving. You have no relevance to Olam Haba. The Olam Haba is the relationship that you have with him.
Is the Olam Haba the relationship, or isn't that enough to cleave to the source of perfection? Isn't that the goal? Is the goal?
What is Olam Haba?
That's
We said earlier,
reward,
miziv shchinoso. No, to be able to bask and benefit from the radiance of His holiness. You have to have relevance to that.
So we can do that here. Okay, right, we can do that here. You can,
No,
if you connect to Hashem.
in this world,
Yes.
because that's your choice. That's the choice you made.
Right.
So He gives you mediums how to develop that and how to advance that. So He said that's what mitzvahs are. The mitzvah spiritualizes the person and addresses all the various components of your spiritual makeup to be able to have that compatibility. But if a person chooses to go another direction, which has no relevance to that, so what happens if the person passes away? Is the shum is totally undeveloped? Not only that, it's even damaged. It's not only not sholem, it's actually worse than damaged. It's soiled. The Ramak writes that a person has a royal vestment, and it has a blotch of uncleanliness on it, soiled. As beautiful as that vestment is, could you come before the king? You can't. So what do you have to do? You have to actually somehow extract or purge that impurity, the uncleanliness from the garment. So let's say a person is a phenomenal tzaddik, does the mitzvahs, but actually he's not perfect, and he didn't do tshuva before he passed away. So he comes with this beautiful garment, which is made up of all his accomplishments throughout his life, but factually there's a blotch on it. How do you stand before the king? There's a stench. That impurity, that chet produces that's an impurity. So he has to go to Gehenna. With his everything, it has to be extracted. The only thing that can extract it, after a person dies, if he didn't do tshuva, the only way he can be fully rehabilitated, you have to go to Gehenna. Maybe for a moment, less than a moment. But even the tzaddik, the great tzaddik, still has to go to Gehenna. Otherwise, it's not appropriate. He should stand before the king, have a relation with the king. That's the Ramak, the Talmud Dvorah. It makes sense. To be continued.